always seeking justice and truth. This ducky won't be silenced by the haters, seeking out the facts while providing the receipts. She is loud with her opinions in this cruel world of villains. This ducky will talk, give her sass, while still keeping her class. So join in the pond with the ducklings from all over the place.
Okay, sorry. So many different mute buttons. Okay, as I was saying, hey y'all, loud little ducky. We are going to be doing part 2, continuation of the investigative report in Laura Owens' criminal case that we started yesterday. We went through 58 pages, and we will continue until we get through this report, whether it's all done in the rest of this video or if we have to do a part 3. Right after this, I will be posting a video about the Aaron Spencer case and the Arkansas Supreme Court, them wanting to get a judge recused, and the Supreme Court has had to interfere in this case twice now. And so it is a very interesting case. There's a whole playlist, but that will be directly right after this video. And then tomorrow I have another video set to go as well in regards to Laura Owens too. So lots of content coming your way in this snowy weekend. Okay. So let's go ahead. Ahoy, Bruce. Ahoy. Mispronounced name, Razzmatazz. Thank you for letting me know about my sound and letting me know that it's working for you as well. That helps. Because otherwise we're going to have to do what Lauren did the other day when people were like, I couldn't hear you. And then we have to go listen to it. And then that can mess up our audio too when we're streaming. So, all right, let's bring this back up. Okay. Move this over here. So, page 59 of 118. Make this a little bit bigger for y'all. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share. Make sure that you're still subscribed. Make sure your notification bells are on so you don't miss videos coming up. And then all right. So now we are getting into on August 29th, 2024. The victim is Stormy Mitchell, which she is the one, I believe, with the vanishing twins. And so let's go into that. Detective Gonzalez and I traveled to Conroe, Texas on 8/27/2024 for a prearranged interview with victim Stormy Mitchell. This interview was arranged in response to a letter received by Maricopa County Attorney's Office on July 1st, 2024, from Stormy Mitchell. In this letter, Stormy references the case involving Laura Owens and Clayton Eckerd in Judge Mata's court. And Can you imagine that you had your own issues that was kind of a rarity type thing, and then some random woman decides to use your shit in a fraudulent scheme, in a paternity case, and then it's now in a court case, and there you were just minding your own business, sharing your struggles that are not a common struggle necessarily, and now you've got to go be a witness in a criminal case. She was minding her own business. Stormy did not ask for this shit. Stormy did not want to necessarily relive this stuff. Like, and Laura just took it like it was her own. Don't touch things that are not yours. Hello, Jupiter Jane. It's just insane. So Stormy states in part that Owen stole and doctored an ultrasound image of a pregnancy with twins in a pregnancy scam, attempting to pass the ultrasound off as her own. Stormy outlines how she learned about doctored ultrasound and the personal grief and suffering this brought about. She states that Owens capitalized on Stormy and her husband's grief and used it in an attempt to harm someone else with no regard to how it would cause pain to Stormy. The person she took it from, let alone the person she was attempting to coerce, she stole the one precious memory they have of their twin babies together. Yeah. She is a real twat waffle. Detective Gonzalez and I met Stormy at Montgomery County Library in Conroe, Texas on 8/27/2024 in a private conference room. The interview was audio recorded and began at approximately 16:38 hours or 14:38 hours Arizona time. The following is a summary of the interview. Stormy began by introducing herself. I began by introducing myself and Detective Gonzalez. I told Stormy that our office was initially ordered by the court to conduct an investigation into Laura Owens. I explained that the office received a letter from her that indicated her identity was stolen by taking her ultrasound image. Stormy agreed. I asked Stormy when she had the ultrasound. She told me that it was in December 2014. Stormy told us that she had the ultrasound at her doctor's office in Conroe, which is connected with HCA, Conroe Hospital. Stormy couldn't recall what the acronym HCA stood for, but told me it's a hospital system. Yeah, it is. Just like THR and BSW, things like that. Stormy said that in 2011, her first son was stillborn when she was 33 weeks pregnant. After that, she started a blog to help process the grief and to let her friends and family know what happened. Yeah, I'm sure it was very therapeutic for her. From there, she started to post her journey. Stormy got pregnant again with her son, who is now 12 years old. Yay, Stormy, and having a healthy baby boy. I'm so thrilled for you. In 2014, Stormy got pregnant again. She kept posting about her pregnancy to keep people updated. At that point, she uploaded this ultrasound to the blog, letting people know what happened. I asked when she uploaded the image. Stormy said it was a couple of weeks later and told me that she still has a copy of the blog. Stormy has removed the blog from being online after everything happened. She said that she didn't realize that people outside of her family had been looking at it. Well, it is public, but it does not give the right to people to steal it for their schemes. I asked how she found out about this. Stormy said that she was on Instagram and got a message from a stranger on the internet. This person told Stormy that she listens to a YouTuber and someone stole her ultrasound image. That person then provided screenshots of the blog that she had taken, the screenshots of the YouTuber. Stormy was told to reach out to that person because he has a lot of information and that this person is doing pregnancy scams. Stormy then went on YouTube and saw all the videos about it and saw her photo ultrasound image. Stormy told us that she immediately recognized this as her ultrasound photo. Stormy then reached out to Dave Neal and told him that this is her ultrasound. I said that I have several ultrasounds in this case and asked what sets her ultrasound apart from others. Stormy said that she has not looked at other ones involved in this case. She said that she has tried not looking into anything in the case other than how she's involved. Stormy said that she and her husband had been trying to get pregnant for many years. They began trying after being married for 5 years, and then 5 years later finally brought home a living child. For them, this is very celebrated, as it should be. The pregnancy 2014, which is their last pregnancy, they were pregnant with twins. Stormy said that she was told that there was a little chance that she could get pregnant because she had polycystic ovarian syndrome. Guess who else claims that? Due to this, having the live son and then getting pregnant with twins was a huge deal. Stormy said that the loss of the twins a couple of weeks later, Stormy stated that this is the only photo that she has of them together. It's the only physical evidence that she has being existed. How sad is that? Those are her babies. Yes, twat waffle is an amazing word. Stormy is the one who had the twin ultrasound that Laura stole from her. Laura found it on Stormy's blog, and it is Stormy's story that Laura stole. And this ultrasound is the only ultrasound of Stormy's twins together in the womb. Those are her twin babies. And so that picture is very important to this mother. And Laura was just like, well, this looks good. I'll take it. I looked at the picture and noted that it has her name on it and the name of the facility where it was created. Stormy said that the original one does, but she cut that out on the one that she posted online. She did this because she didn't want everyone to know who her doctor was. Stormy said that the information is on top of the original one. Stormy then showed us the original photo that she has in a frame. This photo has her name on top, her date of birth, and the date of the ultrasound. The date of her last menstrual period, not the date that they had sex, and gestational age of 5 weeks and 2 days. Stormy pointed out both babies in the photo. Stormy said that the header information was cut on the one that she posted. Stormy then showed us a screenshot from the blog. The image shows the LMP, last menstrual period, and the gestational age. Detective Gonzalez asked if they asked her for the gestational age or if they calculate that. Stormy said they calculate that by the size of the sac and also based on her last menstrual period. It's not information that she provides them with. Exactly. That's how you know Owens has never fucking been pregnant, because the way she says the doctors talk about things is not actually how it goes. Stormy reviewed the image that she has of the ultrasound and the blog. She then uploaded them to a flash drive that I supplied. I also took still shots of the framed ultrasound photograph. Stormy said that this is what it looked like and feels that this is easily identifiable. Detective Gonzalez asked if there was an ultrasound image or a video where it has baby A and baby B labeled. Stormy said that she had not, and if there's anything like that, it was created by someone else. I asked Stormy if she looked at the ultrasound online. Stormy indicated that she did. I asked if she recalled what I had written on the top. Stormy said it had someone else's name on it. I asked if she recognized any of the other writing that was on it. Stormy indicated not. Stormy agreed that it was her ultrasound with someone else's information on it. All of her information was removed. Yeah, because of Owen's arts and crafts. Detective Gonzalez showed Stormy an ultrasound and told her that it's one of the victims was shown. Detective Gonzalez asked if she had ever seen this before. Stormy said it looks like her ultrasound. It just looks like someone blurred it. Stormy pointed out the areas that appeared blurred. Detective Gonzalez asked if her original was two other particular markings. Stormy said no. That one says P. Detective Gonzalez showed another image and asked if that one is hers. Stormy said that's hers. That's her blog. She said her blog says, "I still believe." And the name, the post is Vanishing. Detective Gonzalez asked Stormy if she knows Laura Owens or if she has ever talked to her before. Stormy said no. She has never heard of her prior to this. Detective Gonzalez asked when she found out about this. Stormy said it was in March, later to have been determined it was actually April. I told Stormy, and I understand that she was notified by someone who was anonymous. Stormy said yes. I asked how she found out about Dave Neal. Stormy said that's the person on YouTube that she was told about by the anonymous person. The person said that they think her ultrasound picture was stolen. They were able to find Stormy because they posted a screenshot of her blog with her name on it. I asked if she had ever spoken to Dave Neal. Stormy said not before that. I asked if she had spoken to him since. Stormy said just by email. Dave provided Stormy with information concerning who Laura Owens is and that there was a fake ultrasound video and that hers was discovered in the Greg Gillespie trial. They filled Stormy in on what happened and asked if they could do a fundraiser for her son. Stormy said she eventually said yes to that. As things progressed with the hearings, Dave would keep her updated periodically with things like court dates. Stormy also asked to write letters, which she felt compelled to do. I asked if that's the letter that we received. Stormy said yes. I asked Stormy how this has affected her. Stormy said that this caused anxiety and fear. She fears that people are going to be able to find her. Stormy continued by telling us by little things that she found about Laura. She's afraid that she's going to be able to find her and hurt her family. Well, that's a legitimate fear because whoever the sleuth was on the internet, I mean, that's amazing work, that you found this lady and all of that, because some people would have just never known this was done to them. But I mean, Stormy has no idea the lengths that this woman will go to. And she is a bit cray-cray. So I can see why she would be scared. It's also brought back her feelings of grief, pain, anxiety, which she had previously been able to work through. Stormy told us that this is for her husband. Also, it's brought back the feeling that they had of loss. Stormy said they feel very vulnerable and she is very afraid and sad. I asked if she's willing to aid in the prosecution. Stormy said that she absolutely is. Props to Stormy for being brave. I asked if she has had any contact with anyone in the internet world other than Dave Neal. Stormy said that someone had messaged her after the first person with the same information. There was also a person named Megan Fox, a journalist who does stuff with Dave Neal, who asked her to write a letter. Stormy was also contacted by Clayton's lawyer, Greg Woodnick. I asked what Mr. Woodnick talked to her about. Stormy said that he just asked who she was. Stormy said that she just wanted to know what she could do about this and how she could protect her family and herself. She emailed Mr. Woodnick and they talked on the phone. He asked who she was and the circumstances around her ultrasound. I asked Stormy if she had any questions. Stormy asked what it looks like from here. I said the investigation is still in the early stages. I explained that there is a lot of information online that needs to be examined. I said that this will be a time-consuming investigation and will take time. And then the recording concluded at that time and there was no further relevant information. So props to Stormy and many blessings to her family, hoping to keep them safe and protected throughout this time. All right. So then next is on August 29th, 2024. No, it's got Laura Owens, and then it's also got Jan Black Owens, aka Naylor Owens, Elizabeth, and all of that jazz with her 20,000 names. Like Jan and Lynette Preston have like equal amount of names, it seems like. So here we go. Detective Gonzalez and I went to blank to attempt contact with IL Laura Owens on November 26, 2024 at approximately 9:20 hours. We made initial contact with Jan Black Owens. So this also happened before the raid. They knew they were being investigated. Gingras, in his yammering, knew all this shit was going on. Be like, well, that's what I've been told, or that's the rumor. No, y'all knew that she was being investigated. Y'all knew about all this. You knew about it on the day of the raid, and you still want to be ultra fucking dramatic. Continuing. We initially made contact with Jan Black Owens. Miss Black Owens, I'm just asked what this was about. It's about your fucking criminal daughter. That's what it's about. I told her that this was regarding the civil case that Laura had concerning Mr. Eckerd and Mr. Gillespie. I explained that we wanted to see if Laura would like to speak with us. Jan advised that Laura resided in a casita to the back of the property and that she would let her know that they were there. So, Jan is the bellman, you know, the butler, Laura's personal assistant. Imagine having people just answer the door for you and then going to get you like an assistant. Laura Owens arrived at the door and advised that her attorney told her not to speak with us. I told Laura that I would leave her with my business card in case she wanted to contact me or if they wanted to make a statement. Jan then asked if they were looking for a statement, adding that this thing has gotten so out of hand. Yeah, it has, Jan. It has. It's still out of hand. And you have done nothing about it. I explained that Maricopa County was ordered to conduct the investigation and that part of that is to talk to everyone involved. Jan told us that the two guys that were involved in this, Mike Maricini and Greg Gillespie, have lied and that Greg Gillespie had created documents in the last case as though the documents were from Laura. And what proof do you have of that? Because your daughter said so? Jan said that Gillespie is a master hacker. Well, I would like to see his credentials for that. She said that he had doctored things to make it look like Laura did things. Except for Laura is the one who is known for her arts and crafts. Laura said she knows that she's not supposed to talk and pointed to the Justice for Clayton Instagram. Y'all are real focused on the Instagram. Jan stated that Michael Maricini had concocted things saying that Laura said she had cancer, which he had never told the court before. Laura interjected that Maricini said that she had polycystic ovaries, but he forgot that she had cancer. Yeah, but those are backed up by text messages and other things that she has sent. Jan said that Laura never had cancer. Jan reported that both Maricini and Gillespie knew that Laura was pregnant and that she and Ron had gone to dinner with him, Maricini, frequently. Jan reported that these guys have had motives and that now they're just trying to act like victims. She reported that the two of these cases had been adjudicated and that Laura had evidence that she was pregnant and that these guys were abusive towards her. She continued by stating that they have motives and that they don't want their orders of protection renewed. I explained that we have a lot of court documents, so we're aware of a lot of that already. Yeah, but a lot of that is falsified. You've been lied to. Jan stated that the other attorney in the case, Greg Woodnick, has a real axe to grind against Laura. Gee, I wonder why he would have an axe to grind with her. And you know what? Attorneys can have axes to grind. They can. But as long as they conduct themselves in a professional and ethical manner, it there's nothing anybody can do about it. Yeah, a lot of attorneys have a real axe to grind with people who are doing injustices. That's part of why they got into law. Is they did not like things that were unjust and they stand for justice and correcting the wrongs in the world and making them right, making people whole again. So who gives a fuck if he has an axe to grind? I asked why Laura stated that she feels that she can say that he didn't win the last case against her, Gillespie. Laura said that in the last case, Greg Woodnick had been intimidating her attorney's office repeatedly, just like he tried to tell lies and intimidate her attorney in this case, David Gingras. No, if anybody was trying to intimidate anybody, it would be Gingras. who, by the way, as an asshat, because I said I wasn't going to cover the Gingras stuff, so we're going to derail for here a minute, that he, after all the shit he pulled in the Maraschini renewal case and acting like he took Omar's thumbnail pictures as threats, decided to put a reference in one of his recent blogs to Conor McGregor once again, which is what the thumbnails were representing, was his obsession with Conor McGregor. And then he wants to go and put that in there like an asshat. You just cannot make this stuff up. Okay. Laura continued by stating that David Gingras looked into the case and felt that these things are not true and what Woodnick is trying to scare them off in the case. Laura said that she made a statement to the court, not realizing that she shouldn't have ex parte communication with the court, stating that she had gotten an email from Woodnick on the morning that she had been violently arped and assaulted in New Jersey, that this was her last chance. Laura said that she didn't know what that meant at the time and feels that she had reason to think that Woodnick could have been involved. What? Why would you think Woodnick would be involved in any of that? And I don't know if any of that even happened, because she accuses everybody. And it's real interesting that every man that she's ever come in contact has arped her. Every single person. Nothing has ever been with consent with this woman. People just want to stick it in so bad they don't care if she says yes. Because we know how tight her vagina is, right? My apologies to y'all for having to hear me say that. Laura said she knows that Greg Woodnick is not the one who raped and assaulted her, adding that she was lured across the country by a guy that she never met. Okay. So it's just, Woodnick said, this is your last chance. Yes, this is your last chance to drop this shit and come clean. Before we go any further with this, your last chance has nothing to do with your sexual escapades. Let's see. Since then, Woodnick picked up the Clayton case. After she tried to dismiss it, Laura said that Woodnick hates her and has told everyone that she's the craziest person ever. Laura said she is aware that, and that isn't news to her. And you know what's like, this is Laura saying now that she knows that Woodnick wasn't involved in any of that stuff. Like, and neither was Gillespie, to whatever she's talking about that happened in Hoboken. Okay. Oh, wait, hold on. Laura says she's aware of, she's aware that, and that it isn't news to her. Jan said concerning the case with Greg, this guy shows up on a dating app and it seems like she was lured and Laura was targeted by this guy in Hoboken, New Jersey. I asked Jan if that case was solved and if an arrest was made. Jan asked if I was aware of that case. I said that we have heard rumor of it. Laura responded by telling us that she did make a report to the police there, but she wanted it to stay anonymous because she was concerned that the guy would come after her. Laura reported that she requested that the police not contact him because he would know that she was the one who did it. Okay. And I'm guessing they've solved this case now because I think this Hoboken guy is a witness in this trial now. I don't know. He may not be. But um but the thing is Laura knows, maybe not the Greg maybe she's still not conceding that Greg had something to do with it, but she concedes that she knows Woodnick didn't have anything to do with this ex parte accusation that she sends to the judge. But there was Gingras had made a comment, an off the wall comment. And if somebody has it, great. And that he made a comment about Woodnick being involved in this and saying that Woodnick did do this and was this type of sleaze bag, which is part of the reason that Gingras doesn't like Woodnick, on top of him saying that Woodnick said that the twin fetuses were the size of her hands when it actually was the fact that they were smaller than the size of her hand. You know, that big lie to the court, okay? Because that's such a huge misrepresentation. Hands are not very big, all right? But Gingras even made a comment. And so Gingras should have been told that Woodnick wasn't involved in that and all that. But this is the first time we've heard her concede and say that she knows that Greg Woodnick wasn't involved in that. It was just that she had had this happen, and then the email about this is your last chance happening like back to back made her cray brain connect these two, because she was not in her right mind when she made this accusation. And so, I mean, I don't even know if those two back-to-back incidents are true or whatever, but that is what she is saying. But Gingras, surely Laura told him, no, Woodnick didn't do that, but Gingras wants to make these off-the-wall comments about what a scumbag he was and that he could have done these things, when he should know that that didn't happen if Laura was telling him what she's saying here. All right. So let's. Yep. Yep. I was just looking at my grandson's hands the other day and I was like, oh my God, his hands are like, I mean, they're tiny little toddler hands, but his fingers are kind of long. Like he has like, I joke about his monkey fingers and monkey toes, but his fingers are long, so his hands actually look fairly big in comparison. I'm like, "Oh my," I just noticed it the other day, actually. And my hands to me look like they're big, but I know my hands in comparison to other people, they're actually tiny. But I know other people that have tinier hands, so yeah. I am young, Bay twin. I'm very young, okay? Now I'm 40, but I had kids when I was younger, and my daughter, who is 17, decided to have a kid. And so right now they live with me. He is 2. Like I said, she was very young, but um I love the grandmother life. I do not go by grandma. He calls me Ducky. That is my name to him, um, which is a part of Like, I'm known by Ducky to a lot of people. Oh, yeah, thank you. I am there's a lot of things I would change, but no, I'm 40. And then I have an adult son as well. All right, so Miss Black Owens then indicated that she didn't see that there would be a problem with Laura speaking with us. I told Jan and Laura it would be inappropriate for us to talk to her since she has consulted her attorney. So it's best that we don't. Jan stated that she could tell us more about the Hoboken thing. Jan began to speak, but interrupted by Laura. Laura told her mother that she, Laura, knows what happened and that her mother doesn't have all the details of what happened. Jan said that it was a violent attack and basically the guy thought he had killed Laura. Where are the pictures of this? Jan said that, okay, killed Laura. Laura interjected, stating that she was drugged by him. Did you go to the hospital? Or did you just consult an online person? Or did you just not do anything? Because even if you don't report him, if he left you for dead, as you say, surely you went to the hospital, right? Because that's what reasonable people do. Jan said that the FBI knows about it and they are scared of saying any more. Laura said that she provided a 40-page report of what happened. Laura then voiced concern that we had body cams on. I said that we were not wearing body cams. Laura indicated that she is aware that Justice for Clayton has called in fake welfare checks that they have admitted was for content creation and have used it to harass her mother and herself. Nobody has ever said this shit. Nobody has ever said that they call welfare checks so that we have content. Nobody has ever said that. If anybody in the content creation world has ever called a welfare check on her, it's because we are concerned about the shit she posts and taking her life and body off of this earth. Because nobody else seems to care. We do not do it for content creation. And some of the body cam footage that we have seen has been because Laura herself told the FBI that she was being harassed online by somebody and that she thought about unaliving. And the FBI person called Scottsdale, Arizona to be like, hey, y'all have a person in your jurisdiction that might be mentally unwell. Y'all might want to go check this out because they wrote us at the FBI. So, no, that is a lie. I mean, am I surprised that she lies? No, but that's a bold-faced lie. Fuck right off, Laura. They have also contacted Adult Protective Services alleging that she and her mother had been abusing her father. I don't know anything about that. Don't know nothing about it. So, I suggested to Laura that she speak with her attorney, Gingras, to see if he was interested in sitting with her if she wants to make a statement. I provided Laura with my business card and suggested that she discuss this with her attorney. Laura asked what a statement would be. Did you go to English class? I can tell you what a statement is not. It is not a question. I said it would be whatever she wants to tell us about the case, what she feels would be relevant, and we may ask some questions regarding what she told us. Laura asked if she would be provided with an attorney. I explained that she would not be provided with an attorney unless she was arrested. Yeah, and at this time, they're just investigating the claims of certain things. They have not arrested her yet because they don't have all the evidence in to make a determination whether they're gonna do something or not at this point. Jan told us that they had really wanted to discredit Laura, so the orders of protections would not be renewed. She continued by telling us that Gillespie has continued to try to contact Laura under false names. When? When has this happened? Such bullshit. Laura added that Gillespie had contacted Gingras under a false name. What? How do you know all this stuff? Like, you're saying you've been hacked and all this stuff, and you know it's Greg. Well, how do you know it's Greg that's sending all this stuff? Is that because you are anonymously pretending to be Greg to send these false name things? 'Cause you have no idea who somebody is. Let's see. Owens told us that Gillespie had doctored letters to Laura's prior family attorney early on in the abortion coercion case. She added that Gillespie is a master at this and is obsessed with Laura. Yeah. Everybody is just so obsessed with her. They reached out to Clayton when they heard about the paternity case. Jan said that Laura has never faked pregnancy. She knows this as her mother. No, you don't know that. Jan said that she has seen Laura pregnant. She was tormented by this pregnancy, and she did not want to have an abortion. Did you see her naked, Jan? Or did you see her with clothes on and a prosthetic or something? She told us that Clayton didn't want to come to the table and had called her about it, asking what to do about the pregnancy. She added that she had written to Clayton's parents and asked them for help. Don't do this. Jan said that Laura didn't want to have an abortion, adding Laura had taken an abortion pill on 2 prior cases. She said that Laura is 34 years old and was pregnant before. She didn't want to have an abortion. She basically stayed in bed hoping that she could get Clayton to man up, quote unquote. Laura told us that she has difficulty in making decisions. She feels the need to ask her mother what she should eat for dinner. Well, that's just fucking weird. I mean, my son does the same thing. Yeah, obsessed with getting her to leave him alone. Exactly. Mm-mm-mm. Yes, Rochelle. Telehealth. I was just drugged and nearly killed. What should I do? And then AI will create her an image of what she should do and tell her, quit being a dumbass, go to the hospital. Yeah, what's a statement? Yeah, pick from the drop-down menu why you are dying. And all the reasons that she has died and is dying have never been used before. Her babies are known to dodge abortion pills anyways. Right. So what do abortion pills do for her, because when she takes them in her mouth and her ass, you know, on different days, it doesn't do what it's supposed to do. Yep. I'm glad Clayton laid down the law and he fought back. And because Clayton fought back, all these other people are getting justice. It took one person to stand up and say, "Fuck you, Laura. You're not doing this shit." And Clayton's justice led to Maricini, Gillespie, Stormy, Woodnick, and many, many others getting justice. Mulvey. Because Clayton said, absolutely fucking not. Laura said that she invited Clayton numerous times to her appointments. Well, what would have happened if he would have gone to her appointments? There would have been nobody there at her appointments. So how would he know if Clayton ever showed up or didn't show up to her appointments? Because she didn't go. They're not going to sonogram Clayton's belly. They're not going to be like, "Oh, Clayton, you look like you had a burrito today too." She invited him to appointments that she didn't even go to. And okay, so maybe he wasn't like, "Oh, okay, yeah, I'll be there." Maybe he was just going to show up, and not say he was going to be there. He's just going to be there because he didn't have to say, "Okay, I'll be there." He just can show up. But never. She wouldn't have been at any of them. He would have been like, "Oh, I'm here for Laura Owens' appointment." And they would have been like, "Who? Emily Wilson?" No, we don't know that bitch either. He would have been like, "Do I have the right doctor's office?" Laura said she invited his family. Yeah, that wouldn't have worked either. We need to reimburse their travel costs. Jan said that she wrote to his family and asked about genetic traits in their family that may be a factor for Laura. Clayton's family never wrote back. Good. I want to talk to you, cray people. Laura then stated that she wants to speak for herself and that if she's not going to be provided with a criminal attorney. What? Laura stated that she wants to speak for herself and that if she's not going to be provided with a criminal attorney. Jan interrupted Laura and told her that she wasn't going to say anything, adding that all of the documents and everything are true. Laura stated that she doesn't know if there's anything that she can say that would be helpful and that she was told not to talk to us. Well, then shut your trap, Laura, because opening your mouth in any form or fashion has never been good for you. I told Laura that it's best that she doesn't talk to us at this point. Police are telling her, shut up. You don't need to say anything. Because they can't force her when she says she has an attorney. You have to have, there has to be permission and all that other stuff once she invokes her attorney stuff. So because the thing is when they're investigating, if they don't, her criminal attorney could try to get some of this information and stuff that was figured out during the investigation thrown out. Laura told her mother that she is able to talk to us alone and that she doesn't need her there. Laura said that she was there for all of this. Jan asked Laura if she wants her to go. Laura indicated that she would rather talk inside. I told Laura that at this point we shouldn't talk to her. I suggested that she take some time to think about it and confer with her attorney. I told Laura that if she wants to talk, she could call us. This way, she is starting the dialogue. This would avoid the appearance that we were pressuring her to get information. Notice that they were never like, have you called David? Have you called David? Have you called David about the people showing up at our house? Did they go and look for her car? Like, oh, where is your police cars, sir? Where's your police cars? Because we just have people that show up to this casita all the time that are fake. Let's see, she canceled them. She pulled his name. Exactly. She claimed that she changed the ultrasound so he wouldn't track it after it was done. Yep. She can't not talk. Right. She has the right to remain silent, just not the ability. Jan told us that she knows what the judge had said. She told us that it was a 45-minute hearing. Then the judge came out with all the findings. It was not a 45-minute hearing. What is Jan talking about? It was a 45-minute hearing, and then the judge came out with all these findings that Laura had fabricated pregnancies in the past. Jan said that Laura didn't. This was a 2-hour proceeding, ma'am. Where the fuck were you for part of it? No time constraint. Dr. Jones at One Medical, which was confirmed to Gillespie, and this is who Gillespie told her to see. Laura told us that we were welcome to contact Dr. Jones if we wish. Oh, they did. They did. And it was not to validate what Jan and Laura said. Jan stated that Clayton had lied to the court, telling them that Laura had sent him 500 emails. She said, in agreement with Laura, that she had sent him about 100 emails. It was once a day. We know that's not true because we have dates on those emails, and there were multiple in a day. Also, her texting. She will send 100 texts to one reply, and that one reply will be okay. And she sent 100 texts, long-ass texts, all 100 of them. And all anybody said in those 100 texts was, okay. Laura said that Clayton also lied to her when he said he made offers on real estate. Nobody gives a fuck about these real estate offers. Jan said that the judge came up with all the findings based on what these guys had said. Who the fuck are these guys? Laura didn't have a chance to dispute this and present her documents. She added that she was accused of having a paternity case against the others. However, no, she was not. Jan and Laura. You were not accused of bringing paternity cases against all these other men. You were accused of fabricating pregnancy, and your conduct And the way you went about all your bullshit was similar. Nobody said that you filed paternity cases on all these men. And if that's how you're taking it, no wonder you're like, one was an abortion coercion, one was a restraining order because he tried to kill me. And then this one is a paternity case. None of the cases are the same. Well, that's not what nobody said you brought paternity cases against everybody. That's not what anybody said. Also, Batty McBatface says the other side might have got 45 minutes, including cross-examining her witness. Yeah, probably 45 minutes each, and then other things. So, but that's still a lie. I mean, and that she didn't get to present her case. Ma'am, you had an attorney there. You got to submit your documents. You got to write motions. You got to be heard. They didn't just listen to these guys and all this shit. But they're talking out of their ass once again. Okay. So she added she was accused of having paternity cases against others. However, one was an abortion, the other was for violence. Maricini tried to suffocate her. Laura said that Maricini was stalking her. They then mentioned the trip to Iceland where the lady had made declarations. Jan said the thing about Clayton, and the reason that Laura said she was going to the press was that Clayton had previously indicated that he was going to the press. Where is that? Where's that? Did Clayton say he was going to go to the press first? Because I don't think that's how that happened. I don't even know if he ever said that. Laura indicated that it's all out on the internet and she doesn't have the support of Bachelor fan base. Well, see, I am not a part of the Bachelor fan base. There are certain ones I like and don't like. There are seasons that I have watched and I haven't watched. I don't know if I'll ever pick it back up again because of what it's become, but whatever. I concluded the contact by telling Laura that she could contact if she wishes. Laura then mentioned that her attorney had her watch a video called Don't Talk to the Police. I said that we just wanted to get her side of the story. This contact concluded. Oh, what video is that? Did maybe we on another video watch the Don't Talk to Police? And I'm not saying that Gingers is wrong about that. Don't talk to police. Shut your mouth. That's why you have the right to remain silent. You do not have to help police convict you. You don't. So, I mean, I don't disagree with this. But that's funny that he made her watch. Did he make her watch part 2? Because there's a part 1 and part 2. All right. On January 17th, 2025. All right. So this is still, I believe, before the raid. Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is still before the raid, because the raid happened on January 29th. Detective Gonzalez met with Jan at an address on 12/4/2024. Okay, so this was... All right, I don't know why this was written 1/17/2025. This location is a rental home owned by Owens, used as an Airbnb. We met at this location at the request of Jan, as she did not want Laura to know about the meeting. The contact began at approximately 9:55 hours and was audio recording. The following is a summary. I wonder if Laura is just now finding out that Jan spoke to the police behind her back. All right. Jan Black Owens. Miss Black Owens invited us in and identified herself to us. We sat at the dining room table for the interview. Jan told us that she didn't want this contact to be noted. I explained that it would have to be noted. Jan indicated that she understood. I said that I understand that she wanted to put this all in perspective for us. She indicated that this was correct and said it became complicated because they have thrown in all the elements from the past. Jan said that she presumes that they were focused on Clayton Eckerd part. I indicated that this is correct, adding that it mainly concerns with the court hearing and depositions where Laura was under oath. I added that the judge felt that there was some evidence tampering and some perjury. Jan said that as far as she knew, there was nothing presented to the court that was not truthful. Jan, you're lying already. Jan stated Laura was pregnant. Okay. But Jan, you know that you did not take her to a Los Angeles Planned Parenthood. Jan told us that this happened with Clayton because Laura wanted to get into short-term rentals. Laura was interested in seller finance properties and eventually found out that Clayton worked for a firm that specializes in the field. She, Laura, reached out to Clayton and they seemed to have a connection. Clayton invited Laura over to his place. Owens said that Laura specifically told Clayton that this wasn't a booty call, quote unquote. Jan added that Laura had not had sexual relationships for a year before that. Well, you apparently don't know when your daughter is having sex and not having sex. Jan added that Laura had not had sexual relations for a year. This was the aftermath of being attacked in Hoboken. Laura told Clayton that she was not on birth control. Jan reported that Clayton told Laura that he just wanted her to come over and cuddle as he was feeling lonely. Clayton talked to Laura about him being on Bachelor and that he was portrayed as being a villain on the show because he lied to the girls at the end. No, he did not lie to them at the end. He did the opposite. Clayton has never been known as a liar. He has been known for being too honest, and his honesty gets him in trouble. Um, because even though, girls are like, I want you to be honest with me, a lot of them are like, yeah, don't actually do that. Okay, hold on a second. I'm going to get a drink. Okay. According to Jan, Laura told Clayton that she wanted to make it clear that she didn't want to have sex. Laura had been staying in the casita on her parents' property and that she went over and told her mother that she was going over to Clayton's and that she made it clear to him that she didn't want to have sex. Now, that is a weird thing to say unprovoked. Although I will say that there are things that my daughter will say, especially in regards to baby daddy. And I am like, don't be doing things like we aren't gonna have another kid. And she'll be like, it's not like I'm mom, like we're not doing that. Like I'm not trying to get pregnant again. I'm not stupid. Like, but it's because I brought it up and I'm like, don't be doing things. Keep it in your pants. Maybe she didn't want Jingers to know. Who knows? Maybe Jingers and Jan set this up without Laura's permission, but who knows? Okay. Laura then went to Clayton's home and he offered her THC gummy and she took it. Has Laura ever done THC in her life before this point, or is this her first time to take THC? Um, she's really she's obviously really easy to peer pressure, because she will do anything to capture a man. Anything. According to Laura, Clayton was really, really high. Laura told her mother they were making out, and then one thing led to another. And then the fingers down there. Clayton asked if he could stick it in for 30, then for 25, then 20, then 15. And Laura said no every time. I asked if she was referring to his penis. Why did you need to ask that? I guess because she said the fingering first, so he needed to make sure he wasn't talking about sticking the fingers in. Laura then felt the penis was inside of her. Is it kind of like Amber Heard felt like the Maker's Mark bottle was inside of her? It felt like there was a bottle inside of her, but really there was no bottle inside of her. It felt like there was a penis inside of her, but it wasn't. Also, if you're so tight, right? Maybe you don't know the difference between a finger and a penis if you're so tight, right? So, how do you know? Did you see it? It just felt like it. Laura told Clayton that and I'm not saying the Clayton thing would feel like a finger, because you should be able to tell the difference between a finger and a penis. But because Clayton didn't stick his thing in her, she was just thinking the penis and a finger were the same thing. I'm sure Clayton's member is much larger than a finger. Anyways, I digress. We're moving on from talking about Clayton's member of society. Clayton then told Laura she didn't feel the difference. What? Hold on. Laura said no. Jan said Laura felt like it was that inside of her. Laura told Clayton that she told him no. Clayton then told Laura that she didn't feel the difference. I asked where they were positioned. Jan believed that they were both on the couch. Jan said that Laura was really upset about that when she came home the next morning. Jan stated that it wasn't a violent type of grape thing, considering that she had gone what she had gone through in Hoboken. Jan, do you not think it's weird that your daughter gets graped 24/7 by everybody? And why was Laura in Hoboken alone? Jan said that Clayton and Laura had looked at a couple of properties and Laura had an investor lined up. Laura told Clayton that she wanted to make offers on 2 places and Clayton agreed to write them up and Laura signed them, assuming that Clayton would submit them. When Laura asked about the response, Clayton had not submitted one and she was not sure about the other one. Jan says that Laura was very upset about that, so she filed a complaint with the Department of Real Estate for that. But he offered her to have a different real estate agent. So if she really wanted these properties, she could have just taken a different real estate person and gotten those properties. And her investor would have been happy. But it wasn't about that. Because I believe I think the investor would have been like, why the fuck didn't you go with a different real estate agent? Owens, Jan, said that Laura began suffering from morning sickness and was very fatigued, so she took a home pregnancy test. The test was positive. Jan stated that Laura reported that she wanted to make sure, so she wanted to have it medically done. Laura went to Banner Urgent Care, where it was confirmed. Laura told Clayton, whose demeanor changed rapidly over the course of days. Initially, Clayton wanted them to figure out what to do. Laura told Clayton that she really didn't want to have an abortion, but also didn't want to raise a child with a confrontational father. The thing is, anybody that ever has a kid with Laura, if Laura ever does legitimately ever get pregnant or have a real life child, she is going to have a confrontational father because they have to deal with her. Yeah, it was only about Clayton's real estate. His member of society, um, his investment, all that. And so she is never going to be having a child if she wants to raise it in a with a non-confrontational person or confrontational person, because anybody dealing with her, it's not going to be smooth sailing. It's never going to be, especially when her mother and everybody else are involved. Because with Laura Owens, you are not just going to be with her, you're going to be with her mother as well. Like, you get Jan and Laura as a package deal. Ron is probably like, just leave me to my room and bed and my chair, the black chair. Just leave me to my black chair and y'all go the fuck away. Okay? And I wonder if Ron is like, you know how rich I could be still if these two bitches were not in my life and it was just Sarah and I, like, you think he thinks that? Like, uh, if we would have just divorced and Laura could have lived with her mother and Sarah could have stayed with me, like, how much better life would have been. Um, and he might not ever want anything black in his life. Like, he would not want a black chair because it would remind him of his ex-wife in this reality. If Ron divorced Jan, he would be like, no black chairs ever. Like, only yellow chairs and other colors. Because fuck that lady. All right. Jan reported that over the course of a few weeks, Clayton went from having the child and raising it to having nothing to do with it to putting it up for adoption. Then it went to him having full custody of the child. She would have nothing to do with it, and he would take the child to his parents' house in Missouri. Jan said that Clayton was flipping back and forth. At one point, Clayton told Laura that his parents thought it was a sign from God. I mean, it's a good sign. This is a sign from God. To Clayton, don't be dealing with cray-crays. At one point, Clayton invited Laura over to his house to talk about it. Laura went, bringing a pregnancy test with her, believing that Clayton would want to see him for himself. Once there, Clayton told Laura that he had a test, and then he wanted her to take the test in his presence. Laura did comply, and it was positive. Jan said that Clayton told Laura that he was glad that she did that, and that he knows that she is not a liar. See, that doesn't mean she's not a liar just because it pops up positive. Jan said that Clayton had wanted to speak with her and that he called and left messages indicating that he wanted to talk to her about it. Jan told him that he needed to talk to Laura, not her. Jan said that she did speak with him on the phone, and they spoke for about 40 minutes. Jan stated that Clayton admitted to her that he may have had some pre-cum, and that's how it happened. Do not tell the mother of the girl. If any dude calls me, no, I don't think Ron is innocent in all this either. I'm saying I don't think he's as involved with everything. I think he's just told a lot of shit and he just doesn't do anything about it. He's guilty by association. And he just does things that they tell him to, and he wants to be a prick. I was just saying, if he would have back in the day decided to leave Jan because she controls everything, because rumors are that he wanted to do that at one point, that like his life probably would have been 10 times better. But anyways, back to this. If my child's partner calls me and tells me that they had some pre-cum near my child, I'm going to be hanging up the phone. Do not call your parents of somebody you slept with and talk about details of a sexual escapade. I don't want to hear it. I want no details, just like my children do not want details of anything sexual that me or their dad has done. They don't want to hear that. That's gross to them. And hearing about children's stuff is gross. Don't call me and talk to me about pre-cum. I might smack the shit out of whoever my child slept with if they call me with that bullshit. I'm probably gonna smack my child too and tell them to pass it along. Like, what? I don't know if that's really a conversation that happened. Maybe Clayton did say that. Because again, he is too honest. She told Clayton that he should have been more of a stand-up guy about this. Jan said the part it was not consensual and he was aware of that. Jan indicated that she watched some of his show on YouTube and was aware that he was dishonest and that she couldn't believe a word that came out of his mouth. Well, then she didn't watch the actual show. Because had you watched the actual show, you would know that he wasn't dishonest. Jan feels that he wanted to polish his reputation because he was trying to get a spot on Dancing with the Stars. Jan stated that this makes sense if you know what happened to Laura in Hoboken. What? What does Dancing with the Stars and Clayton polishing his reputation to get a spot on Dancing with the Stars have anything to do with shit that happened in Hoboken? That happened apparently in the middle of Gillespie's case. But it also has something to do with Clayton getting on Dancing with the Stars? I am dumbfounded here. Because I'm gonna need a string map to know how Jan has now connected Hoboken, Dancing with the Stars, Greg Woodnick, and Greg Gillespie. And that all of this can be explained and makes sense if you know what happened in Hoboken. Yeah, I don't think it was his reputation that got polished either. But I'm not connecting the dots. So if anybody has a dot to dot map that could connect all of that together, please let me know. Owens reported they moved from San Francisco in 2021, and Laura had a boyfriend in San Francisco a couple of years. I asked if this was Maricini. Jan indicated that it was and stated that Laura had not had good luck with these guys. Yeah, but there's a common denominator, Jan, and you have to start asking questions. Because I get that people have bad pickers. Like, they just don't choose correctly. And the thing is you can choose a bad guy. One of them could be a cheater. One of them could just be a liar. One of them could be a criminal, like maybe does drug deals or something like that. But they're not all the same scenarios. Like, every relationship doesn't have the same sequence of events. Like, my daughter has been with some shitty people. My son has been with some shitty people. The shitty people and their reasons for being shitty people are not the same. None of the relationships have been similar. There is no copy and pasting. But all of Laura's are very similar. They've all been told the same thing. They've all been accused of the same things for 10 years. and you haven't picked up on the common denominator and started to be like, Laura, like, I want to believe you, and I am here to support you. But what the hell is going on? Because and then Laura can get mad and be like, "Oh my god, like, you're just another person that doesn't believe me, and you're supposed to be my parents," and all. Like, Laura can throw her fit, but you gotta question things. Jan told us that Laura dated Maricini for about 1.5 years, and for the first 6 months, they were fine. Then he became more violent sexually, including choking during sex. There was other violence involved. Jan stated that at one point, Laura became pregnant with Maricini's child. They all went to dinner, and Laura told them that she was pregnant, but it wasn't the right time. Laura and Maricini went to Planned Parenthood in Walnut Creek, and Laura took abortion pills. Owen said that some juncture Maricini had said that Laura had cancer. Jan reports that Laura never said that, and Maricini never said that up until now. Then why are there documents that were a part of a case way back when, if it's new? It's not. And it's in the TED Talk. Your picture from that stuff is in the TED Talk. Anyways, she feels this may have been the work of Maricini and Gillespie, which is very funny that somebody from not to say that California and Arizona people can't be connected, but they are completely different places. Like, there would be no reason for these two to hook up and talk about this shit. She reported that Gillespie had concocted emails that he tried to indicate were from Laura that were not from her. Yeah, except for forensic report says that it is. Maricini reported in his deposition concerning the protective order hearing that Laura had polycystic ovarian syndrome. He never said anything about cancer. The cancer allegation came out after Maricini and Gillespie got together, and Maricini found 2 emails on his laptop that appeared to be sent from Laura pretending to be a doctor. Jan said that Laura only went out with Gillespie for about 2 weeks or so. They went on 2 or 3 dates. They did not go out for 2 weeks. I mean, maybe those dates were over a 2-week period, but whatever. Gillespie told Laura that he had been hurt in relationship before by girls cheating on him and asked for her passwords. In 3 dates? Okay. According to Jan, Laura provided the passwords to Gillespie. During the relationship, Gillespie told Laura that it's easy to doctor letterhead and stated that he had done it before. Who said this? Did Laura tell you this, Jan, or did you hear Gillespie say this? Is this in writing anywhere? Where's your proof of this? Jan said that Laura had become pregnant by Gillespie, and he was insistent that she have an abortion and that she take abortion pills in his presence. Gillespie indicated to Laura that he would ruin her life if she didn't comply. Jan reported that Gillespie put his fingers in Laura's mouth to make sure she took them. He was never there when she took the abortion pills at any of the times, because that is backed up through text messages. Laura was upset with how it ended. She filed for an abortion coercion suit against Gillespie. Laura did not ask for money. She asked for a charitable donation to be made to educate people about abortion coercion. Well, you need to be educated about abortion coercion and how it works, because it's not you taking things on your own volition because somebody told you to. Abortion coercion literally is somebody doing things without your knowledge or shoving shit down your throat, kind of like we make our dogs take their pills or medicine, or babies. Like we do medicine coercion with our children and our animals. That's what that would be. And it's done by doctors and such. I mean, I guess it could also be done by a human if they decided to, like, cut you open or shove pills down your throat and stuff like that, or up your butt, or however you take them. But it's not this. Jan stated that Gillespie hired an attorney. Greg Woodnett suggested that they may have worked together previously, and it's not just an attorney-client relationship. During the suit, Woodnett contacted attorney Joe Cotchett, who was friends with Laura's family, and asked him to tell Laura to drop the case. Jan reported that the attorney had represented Laura in an auto accident case in the past, and the only way that Woodnick would have known about this attorney was through Laura's emails and from Gillespie accessing her emails. No, that is not the only way to know about this case, because it's a public record. Woodnick doesn't need Gillespie's hacked emails to know about this Uber case. Like, y'all have zero knowledge about how the court system works. As much as y'all use it, y'all are very dumb when it comes to it. From Gillespie accessing her emails, Jan mentioned that Cotchett had represented her husband in a labor severance suit during the time that Laura dated Gillespie, and may have mentioned his name to her. Owens reported that Laura did not have an attorney at the time. According to Jan, Woodnick challenged the abortion coercion suit on constitutional basis. Jan told us that Laura ended her relationship with Gillespie. Oh, Laura ended it, did she? In August of 2021. And then in February 2022, connected with a guy on Bumble, a dating app. He, Andrew, lived in Hoboken, but said he was going to relocate to Scottsdale during their video chats. Okay. During the video chats, Andrew suggested that she travel to Hoboken to visit him, knowing that her sister lived in New York. And New York and New Jersey are not that far apart. I asked if Sarah knew Andrew beforehand. Okay, all white people don't know each other. I'm just going to say that. Let's see. Jan and wait. Oh, he asked her that. Sorry. I was like, this guy from Hoboken, or somebody was like, did Sarah know Andrew beforehand? Jan indicated no. And not all white people know each other. Laura decided to go to Hoboken and see her sister. Jan stated that Andrew was very particular about the time of Laura's arrival and that she take public transportation instead of an Uber. Also, make sure you have location on and have somebody near. Again, why is Laura going to Hoboken by herself alone? Like, do not do this, meeting somebody off the internet. I don't know if Andrew is an okay guy or not. He might be. Don't do this. Let people know where you're at. If any of y'all end up meeting me, like, I'm an okay person, but have your location on. I'm going to have my location on. I'm going to tell people I'm going to meet some people I don't know in real life. And then they're going to make sure that I'm okay. Like, just do it. I'm going to do it. You do it too if we ever meet in person, people. Okay? And if they want to be in the same vicinity too, to make sure that everybody's okay, do that too. Okay? I won't take offense to it. But do it on your dates. Do it on your dates. Okay? Laura arrived at the door and Andrew answered, "Why is she going to this dude's house? First time meeting him. Oh my God, this is not how you date. This is how bad things do happen. I'm not saying that it did, but this is how bad things happened." Laura arrived at the door and Andrew answered while on the phone and handed her a drink, as prearranged. Okay. Laura consumed the drink, felt that she was drugged, and then violently assaulted. Jan feels that this was targeted attack which coincided with Woodnick's ultimatum to drop the suit against Gillespie. Owens recounted Laura's description of the event and her opinion that the attack was live streamed. What? So now this dude has live streamed this attack too? Where is this live stream that happened, supposedly? It's just gone now, right? It's just gone off the internet. Gillespie took it down. Oh my God. What in the fuck is this shit? Oh my God. I told Jan that I understand that this is part of the big picture, quote unquote. However, it's outside the purview of what we're investigating. Yeah, you've gone into I don't know where. Laura contacted the Hoboken Police Department and spoke with the detective. Laura reported that she was afraid and did not wish to name Andrew in a police report. Well, thank you for reporting this thing that nobody can do anything about and you can't protect anybody else from. Like apparently this was live streamed. This prearranged Bumble meeting with Hoboken. Like, what the Sarah wasn't like, "You're not fucking doing this." Like, if anybody told me that I'm gonna go do this, no, the fuck you're not. No, you're not. If I told my brother I was gonna be like, "Hey, I'm gonna go over to Hoboken, okay? I'm gonna meet this dude. I'm gonna go to his house. I met him on Bumble." But it's cool because he's gonna be moving to Scottsdale real soon, so he's not gonna be in Hoboken all the time, right? And so I'm gonna go to his house. No, we haven't met before. We've just talked a couple of times, on video. And my brother is not going to just be like, "Okay, have a good time." Like, what the fuck is happening here? But if something happens, please give the name. I know it's scary. Please, please come forward. Do a kit. Do a kit, okay? Go to the hospital. Even if you don't make a report, go to the hospital. Like, do something to document it, okay? But giving the name so um, that this person can't do this to anybody else, okay? Maybe Laura went to Jersey and accidentally landed on the set of a Jay and Silent Bob movie, and she just smoked a lot of weed. And we know Laura can handle her alcohol. It it just doesn't make any sense. Like, it just doesn't. Like, this detective is probably Like, where the fuck are we? Am I in Narnia? Like, ma'am, I just wanted to talk about the fact that she lied about a pregnancy case. Why the fuck are we in Hoboken at a live streaming of an essay? Okay. So he's trying to get her back on track. Laura contacted the police department, spoke with a detective, reported that she was afraid. She didn't wish to name him. Jan indicated that the FBI is involved in this case and provided further detail of this. Jan told us that the assault occurred in March 2022 and that Andrew texted Laura again in November of 2022, said that he was in Scottsdale and asked if she wanted to meet. Laura feared that Andrew wanted to finish the job. Well, if she feared this, why didn't she go get a restraining order against this dude? Because this one could, well, I guess maybe it wouldn't, because the guy could just say, no, I told her when we first started talking that I was going to be moving to Scottsdale. Right. She can still be tracked even if she goes to public transport. Like, I don't know what movies they were watching around this time. Okay. Jan stated that this all comes together at the time of the trial with Gillespie. Laura was frightened and sent correspondence to the court requesting to appear virtually, indicating that she believed that Woodnick and Gillespie were involved. The thing is she didn't have to bring them into this. She could have said, hey, and she didn't need to ex parte the court. Like, make a motion, whatever, something. And say, I just had this experience. Here's the police report. Here's where I went to the hospital. Here's the link to the live stream, whatever. There is this guy that I met, and he just arrived in Scottsdale. And I am afraid to leave my house. You do not have to involve anybody else in this. You don't have to mention the person's name. Just say, I am dealing with a separate incident, which, is still going to look weird because it's just another incident. Again, it makes it hard to believe. Girl who cried wolf. And not accuse people of doing things. Okay. Jan feels that Woodnick and Gillespie wanted to damage Laura's reputation to make her seem as if she were unhinged crazy girl if she were to testify. So they hired somebody to live stream. Like, this makes no sense. After Gillespie and the attack in Hoboken, Laura met Clayton and became involved in a dispute with him. She said that everyone involved themselves in this seemed to have their own reasons for wanting to discredit Laura, and Clayton wanted to polish his image. Jan said that Clayton knows what happened fits the technical definition of grape. This is infuriating. Like, I get we're like laughing and stuff like that about some, but this is so infuriating that she just does this. Just so nonchalantly accuses everybody of all this shit. That these people just did it so that she would just sound like a crazy person. Nobody's doing this shit. continued to suggest that Woodnick had contrived names of medical providers and fed information to to internet content creators. Laura told her mother that she didn't know any of the medical providers that Woodnick cited and denied reporting that she went to any of them. But you're on tape saying that you went to these medical providers. You are the one that said you went to a McCool and a Higley. Woodnick did not make that shit up. And Jan, why are you saying this shit? Because you know this is a lie. Jan said that Woodnick had alleged that Laura took pregnancy hormones along with other similar theories. Laura told her mother that she did not willingly have sex with Eckerd and that she kept saying no to the end. I told Jan that at this point, we weren't disputing the fact that Laura was pregnant. Yeah, they weren't at this point. I told Jan that Laura did say that she doctored one test where she increased the hormone level. Jan said that document was never submitted as evidence. Laura submitted the actual medical report. The doctor record was provided to Dave Neal, a content creator and podcaster. But the thing is you don't have to submit it to a court for it to be a part of you trying to convince people that you're actually pregnant. It's a part of a larger scheme. Because you don't have to fake medical records if something turns out to be true. If it's true, you don't have to doctor shit. Because you'll be like, all right, well, y'all are going to look like idiots when all the proof comes out and a baby pops out. But she had to doctor things because she knew she needed to make herself look believable because it wasn't believable. And if everything is true, you don't need to do this shit. Owen said that Laura was trying to get some type of commitment from Clayton to see what kind of father he would be. Laura felt that they couldn't have joint custody and was concerned that Clayton didn't know what joint custody was. Laura couldn't get anywhere with Clayton, so in July 2023, they hired a law firm to act as an intermediary. Joint custody means you share time with the child. Jan spoke about Laura's brain trauma and reported that she had gotten epilepsy due to something that occurred with Maricini involving blunt force trauma, that Maricini is a person who cannot not lie. She believed that Woodnick and Gillespie reached out to Maricini because they learned that Laura had a case against him. She further believed that Maricini and Gillespie got together and came up with emails to appear as if they came from doctors in San Francisco saying that Laura had ovarian cancer. This was to make it look like she was doctoring all this stuff. Okay, so this is their defense. Okay. Nobody's going to believe this shit. A jury is not going to find you not guilty if this is your story and your defense when you go to trial. I'm just going to tell you that. Owens feels that Woodnick and Gillespie came up with these, indicated that a doctor to make it seem if she was crazy. She feels that the crazier they can make Laura seem, it would look better for them if they were ever connected to the Hoboken attack. But yet nobody has connected them to the Hoboken attack. I told Jan that there was a lot of said about ultrasounds during the hearings, and I asked if Laura ever had an ultrasound concerning Clayton. Jan said she knows that this is a touchy area and did not want to get into that. She told us that she was aware that Laura said she had changed something during her deposition because she didn't want Clayton to know the lab she went to. Jan said that they never submitted any sonogram to the court and that she doesn't believe that Woodnick ever submitted anything. Okay. Tell me you didn't follow this case. She understands that Gillespie came up with 1 or 2 sonograms in the case with Laura. Jan said that Gillespie submitted sonograms to the court saying that Laura presented them to him. Laura contended at the time that she had taken abortion pills at 8 weeks prior to the possibility of having a sonogram. You can have a sonogram at 8 weeks. You can have one at 6 weeks. I said that in Gillespie's suit, Laura said she was pregnant with twins. Jan told us that she never said that she had twins, but Gillespie claimed she did. Gillespie claimed that Laura said it was a boy and a girl. I said that I understood that only one of the fetuses passed because she only took one pill. You don't need to take a pill per each of the twins. Like, you take the same amount of pills whether you're pregnant with twins or you're pregnant with one child or you're pregnant with triples. Yeah, we will lose our minds if we don't laugh. That is for sure. Because what the fuck? It's just like, how? Like, she does not hear the words. Yeah, you can have a sonogram at 0 weeks too. It just doesn't show anything. Like, can she hear the words that is coming out of her mouth and is like, yeah, that all sounds plausible. Like, please come up with a different defense strategy because this isn't going to work. I don't think any defense strategy is going to work, but Lord help us if this is what they try to sell to the jury, because ain't nobody buying it. And they can't kick every female off the jury. Like, if they're like, do not have any females on there, because if there are any females that know anything about having babies, they will know that Laura is a lying liar who lies. Jan stated that Gillespie's case was about abortion coercion. It was never about paternity. She said that Woodnick tried to turn it into a paternity case, and she didn't understand why. Nobody tried to turn it into a paternity case. Oh, the gaslighting that she tries to do. It infuriates me. Jan showed us a document from One Medical related to the Gillespie case. The document indicated that the nurse practitioner, Julie Ulrich, was concerned over Gillespie's behavior and that they were afraid of him. Laura was offered resources. Yeah, I would like to know what Julie Ulrich actually thought. Jan mentioned that Gillespie said that Laura sent him a sonogram and that there were some emails that were doctored from Laura. She said that they don't know if he actually went into her computer because he had her passwords. But the thing is she's probably changed her passwords by this point. So he doesn't have them. Laura looked in her sent email and didn't find it. That's because she deleted it. She thinks that Gillespie either sent it from Laura's email or he doctored them to look like they were from her email. That's not how any of this works. She said that as soon as the news came out that Laura was pregnant with Eckerd's child, Gillespie and Woodnick became involved and then brought Maricini into it. Woodnick indicated that Maricini had been subpoenaed to Judge Motta's court, but that wasn't true. Jan stated that the hearing with Judge Motta was an absolute joke. Is that because that's what David told you? She didn't know how Judge Motta could conclude the things that she concluded, such as faking the pregnancy and that she took HCG. Jan said that she saw Laura's stomach get bigger and bigger. She added that Laura took videos and photographs with her naked belly. She also pointed out Laura's weight gain to 130 pounds at the end of the pregnancy. I indicated that we believed that Laura was pregnant. Jan talked to us about the podcasters and the content creators such as Dave Neal and how they were affecting Laura throughout. And Laura tried to get a restraining order against him. Once Laura had confirmed that she is no longer pregnant, she understood that the suit was on the dismissal calendar. At the time, Laura or Eckerd had ordered preventing Laura from contacting him. Eckerd reported about the 500 emails. Jan stated that was a lie. She never sent him 500 emails. At this point, the case was on the dismissal calendar. Laura knew that she had miscarried, and it was verified that she was no longer pregnant, so she thought it was over. At that point, Woodnick kept the suit going. All he can to make Laura seem unhinged. All you needed to do is provide proof of some believable shit. Owens talked about the success of their podcast and how the Justice for Clayton cult has gone after all of their guests and sponsors. They have tried to ruin their business, their horse business. Jan alleged that Woodnick is after Laura and has gone to lengths such as to lie in his filings and statements that he was trying to rehash the Gillespie case, which he lost. No. Jan said that if you don't know what happened in Hoboken, this seems bizarre. And it seems that Laura is the crazy person. So why didn't you come out with the Hoboken shit? Laura still seems like the crazy person knowing about the Hoboken shit. She even seems more crazy because of the Hoboken situation. Gonzalez asked if there was ever a connection made between the Hoboken, Gillespie, and Woodnick. Jan said not that she knows of. Jan continued to provide her opinion of Woodnick and wondered why he was so focused on Laura and discrediting her, because she is a bitch. Jan said that she has been with Laura through all of these cases, and there is no question in her mind that all these things happened. And I stated our investigation is to see if Laura lied or tampered with evidence. Jan said that she knows the document that she sent to Dave Neal, that Laura said she shouldn't have done it. Jan stated that Laura never changed any of the evidence in court. Okay. Jan again spoke of Judge Mata's ruling that she is saying that Laura is on the hook for $149,000 in legal fees. She said that there were no legal fees at the time that Laura filed to dismiss the case. She also feels that there's something going on between Mata and Woodnick. This is because Mata's ruling was almost word for word the same as Woodnick's press release. Okay. What the fuck is happening? Is fixing to happen. Okay. Okay. I have to prepare myself. I have to prepare myself for what I'm fixing to go into. All I see is the word Diddy and Gilgo Beach. You can tell they've been talking to Gingras, and they are just regurgitating everything that Gingras has said. Which, okay, he's their attorney, or Laura's attorney, whatever. Okay. Jan Black spoke of death threats that she had received and some additional theories connecting this to the Gilgo Beach murders in New York or the Sean Diddy Combs sex trafficking case. What? So Rex Huerman and Sean Diddy Combs now want Laura Owens? She's just so irresistible. Like they're connected to this case. Oh my God. Are they gonna have to go? You say this, you're done for. Your daughter is going to prison if you say this shit in court. Do not say this shit. We need a statement from P. Diddy, Puff Daddy himself, and the Gilgo Beach. Was Laura on Gilgo Beach? What the fuck? Okay. Jan feels that this may be a part of a bigger picture and agreed that the FBI may be looking into it. The FBI has made no connection, okay? No connection to this bullshit. And Woodnick and Gillespie are not linked to Gilgo Beach and the Puff Daddy sex trafficking case. That is some major defamation right there. It wasn't said in the public, but they can't actually sue for defamation because of these things, because she didn't say it like they didn't write a Medium article about it. If they had said this in a Medium article, it would be different. Okay. She also said that at one point, Woodnick indicated that Laura stated that he and Gillespie had raped her. Jan reported that Laura never said anything about the details of it. She just said they may have been involved in some fashion. She continued by telling us that in another proceeding, Woodnick indicated that Laura alleged that he and Gillespie coordinated the attack in Hoboken. Jan told us that she wanted us to know that there was nothing presented in court that wasn't 100% true. Just in this investigative report, there is lots of things that are untrue. Lowe's last paragraph. She continued by telling us the things that Woodnick presented were medical records from places that had no records for Laura, but he didn't present records from the legitimate ones. I told her that we do have records from the legitimate offices. Well, where the fuck are they? Jan, where are they? Why didn't she put them in the HIPAA release? They got these places from Laura in her deposition, in her motions, and on her HIPAA, where she was told to list. Why didn't she list the legitimate ones? Why did she only list the fake ones? That's on your daughter, not on Woodnick. You also, David Gingras, could have produced the legitimate ones to prove her case. But you didn't even give Gingras the legitimate ones. Okay. We still know there is no legitimate ones to this day. Jan asked how long this investigation would take. I said that I hoped that it wouldn't take too long. Detective Gonzalez asked about Laura's computer, if she still has the one she had when Gillespie had her passwords. Jan said that she was under the belief that Laura had gotten a new computer and she had been telling her to change her passwords. Okay. Jan told us about the incident Laura reported to her. Laura told her mother that she was with Gillespie in a car. When they pulled up in front of the house, a subject was standing in front of the house and contacted them. Gillespie told Laura that he was in real estate business and that she should have given him her phone so he could put his contact information in it. Laura told her mother that she didn't know what the guy did with her phone, but he was monkeying with it for a little while. According to Jan, Laura thought he may have done something with the phone. I'll put his phone number in. Oh my God. Okay. So apparently there's like a chip and spyware on Laura's phone. That's interesting. Jan said that she wants us to know that there was nothing that was presented in court that wasn't 100% truthful. I told Jan that if Laura and Gingras want to talk to us, that we would be happy to speak with them together. Jan told us that Mr. Gingras has said that this was not his area of expertise in the law. Well, there's a lot of places he doesn't have expertise in, but he still likes to dabble in. So why not? Jan told us that she didn't want Laura to know that she spoke with us because Gingras said to let the investigators do their work. There was no further information, this contact concluded. All right. So that is where we are going to stop for today. We will start up with page 75 in the next video sometime tomorrow. I'll probably do it earlier in the day than I did today. But that is going to be where we end because I cannot anymore. Yeah, if they had Greg, then no need. Because just him being in their presence, he just can do all this. But this case now being tied in Jan's mind to Diddy and the Gilgo Beach murders is truly mind-blowing. Yeah, I'm thinking there's some Illuminati shit going on here. Like Bruce says. The world needs to know about the beach and the Diddy and the Illuminati and the twins. Yep. Because where do you even come up with this shit? I just don't know. Yes, GB cheese. Oh boy. It's so crazy. That's insane. I knew there was some shit with Jan. I didn't know it was that. But Jan is doubling down. Jan should know because Jan supposedly was with her on some of these excursions. Oh, Jan is toast if she testifies. This is not great. I could see them trying to put Ron on the stand to get sympathy. Like, this is my daughter, you know, like we're just trying to live this life and she's taking care of me and making sure I always sit in the black chair and making sure everybody knows that he's had Parkinson's for like 23 years and he can't do anything by himself. But like I could see them using Ron for sympathy with the jury. This is something, but I wonder if Laura is just now finding out about Jan going behind her back. Or Because the thing is Jan should have never gone and done this. Because it's just more shit. Because Jan couldn't shut her mouth too. Jan just gave them more shit to go look into that nobody would have probably ever known about. No, his pension is not sympathetic, but the they'll bring him in his wheelchair and he will look like he's completely not there. Like, they'll find a way to make sure that people know about the father and have him there as presence for sympathy for the jury to see. He's going to be used as a prop in his daughter's defense. But anyways, y'all have a good evening. And I will talk to you later right after this. Aaron Spencer's video will be going live. And now I have to go watch other people's reactions to this because I've stayed away from a lot of it when they get to further things than I've discussed, because I want my real reaction on these things first time reading, which might not always be great. So stay warm, stay safe, and see you later. I am grateful to all of you.